Hi, I'm Joshua Serena. This is my second year being interviewed by Beyond the Brick, so it's pretty flattering to see you guys again. Yeah, this is a dollhouse. I've been kind of wanting to make a Belleville dollhouse for a long time. It's kind of based on my childhood home, but also a dollhouse that my grandmother had, where like every panel opens up, so you can really make like a realistic house instead of just having a dollhouse that's empty in the back.
That's an awesome build. I love the concept of it, like Belleville and massive dollhouse. Just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, thank you. People keep asking me how long it takes, and I kept saying it took 2 months, but I really don't remember how long it took.
So now we are looking at, this is the front of the house, right?
Yeah, this is the front of the house. Looks like he's looking at the boys' room right now. I tried to make the top bunk messy. It's a little hard. I don't think it is like super successful, but I haven't gone back to it. And I used the classic space tile to be a poster above his desk.
Very nice, very nice. Now, I guess just kind of walk us through the remainder of the house. Maybe we can go back up to the attic?
Sure. I'm just trying to track where he is. This is like a classic crawl space. The entrance to the crawl space is over here. It goes into the artist studio. I'll just spin it around so we can do the attic all at once. I don't know if you can see it. Like I use life lights all throughout the place. So this is the top floor. It has like the little classic kind of hanging bulbs made out of the witch's crystal balls.
Now, wiring model is always difficult. When it's bigger, it's a little bit easier, but it's still a challenge. How did you kind of figure out wiring for yourself?
I had never done wiring before. I buried it all in the floors. So all the ceilings are actually like walls. They're snot built, so because I don't like seeing the hollow tubes on the bottom of things. So it ended up being kind of easy to leave little channels open for the wires to go through.
That's awesome.
Sometimes in the walls, I'd have to use those. I don't know how you describe them. They're like They're like pieces that have like a hollowed out piece. They're like like a 2x2 by.
Like a panel?
Yeah, like the panels, exactly, the panels. So I'd have to use like panels to hide wires too, because the walls are kind of thin.
And then moving along?
Yeah, sure. This would be like the rumpus room, like hobby room. This is the girl's train set. And if you see here, she has her own dollhouse inside the dollhouse. And then this is the bulkhead that goes down. And if you follow the camera down, you can see the staircase that leads up to the attic. The opening door. There's a microphone used for this door handle, but then all the other door handles are those little diamonds, so they make them look like the old glass door handles at old houses.
At that scale, it works perfectly.
It does, yeah. It ended up working pretty good. If you pan over to the bathroom, I used the classic garage door elements to make the curtains. Yeah, it's the only room that has curtains because bathroom wants a little more privacy. And if you look closely, the claws and the claw-foot bathtub are actually like little gold frogs.
That's awesome. And the like pearl gold works so perfectly as like piping.
Yeah, the piping and the tubing and the tiling on the floor, and then like the red with the dark red with a little splash of pink, I think worked out pretty good. I actually made that room a lot pink before, and then I had to like tear it down because I wasn't really happy with it. That's one thing I'd have to say to any builder out there is, trying to improve his skill set. Don't be afraid to revise. Don't be afraid to break things down. And, if things aren't 100% the way you like them,
Constantly iterate.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to break stuff down to the bones if it's like something that you don't really like.
And then the one thing I'm noticing, and I kind of like want to focus almost like up here again, like your walls are amazing colors, texture.
Yeah, and the waffle pieces, those are... Some of your viewers might not know that some of the older pieces, but this is how plates used to be, with the squares on the bottom instead of the tubes. So I have been collecting those for a little while, and I wanted to use them in a way that showcased, their unique bottoms, in a kind of like a natural way, without really, seeming show-offy. So I think that was ended up being a good way to do it.
That's awesome.
This is if you pan down this girl's room with a bright light yellow walls. If you kind of like scan around, you can see she's into some she's got like some screwed up hobbies.
Like cash on the floor there?
Yeah, there's a huge pile of cash on the floor. There's like there's a sap in a bag hanging on her bed. There's a big like a pile of swords on a display case. And then she likes aquariums, but then she has like the beaker too. So you don't really know what she's into, but she's making bank.
She's got a nice light yellow wall color too. So
Yeah, and the flowers are on the trim. It's kind of like one of the few times I've kind of cheated a little bit. The flowers don't have a lot of clutch power, so I actually bit the backs of them to give them little burrs so they would stick in.
that's awesome. So then moving along.
Sure, yeah. If you can down here, this is a dining room. It has it's not that interesting in itself. You know, there's nothing like fantastic about it. It has a little outlet on the side, which is interesting, next to the staircase. And in the back has like I don't know what you'd call it, like the cabinet with glasses in it.
A china cabinet or something?
Yeah, something like that, yeah. And then the chairs went through a few iterations. Like I said, you got to not be afraid to just keep trying new things. So the chairs were like chair Mark 6 because of how many chairs I went through.
Revise.
And we just pan over to the kitchen on the bottom floor. You notice the imperial tiles. A lot of people get tickled by that. On the stove has the little imperial tiles as the burners. And then the little butcher block was the last thing I made. It just felt like it needed a little bit something extra in the kitchen. It was like a lot of empty space.
And then those are official 1x1 like little muffin tiles that came like.
They made a lot of strides. They're kind of catching up to the. I feel like Lego's kind of responded to the private market, and like kind of come out with their own versions of things that used to be, just be like a third party item. Yeah, this is kind of a long interview because there's so much to look at in this build.
There's a lot of awesome stuff to look at. So we have the other attic space over here that we were looking at earlier.
It's really just a crawl space, you know, the Christmas tree up in the attic.
Now, is this like a corpse or is that like a doll?
It's just a doll, yeah.
That's a little inappropriate, I'm sorry.
It also lifts up because I have big hands and I want to be able to get into the hallway.
When it like latches in too.
Yeah, so I wanted to be able to reach into the hallway without knocking everything like crazy, so I made it so it hinged up. And if you also pan up, you can see this is how all the ceilings are with the sideways building, so you don't see any of the tubes in the bottom of the panels.
And I love the weight of it too. That's amazing.
Yeah, the weight of it's not always amazing when you have to move it. This is the master bedroom. So this is I don't know what you call it on Bricklink. I just call it lavender. So it's the light lavender and then the medium lavender.
You're using these little like log bricks, kind of.
The little log cabin bricks to put a little bit of contour under the windows.
Love it. I love it.
Yeah, the window frames were one of the first things I did to try to when I started doing the build, like I wanted to know if I had enough pieces, and I worked on the window frames. They're kind of like half a stud out, so the frame has a little bit of contour to it. But it's not like, too aggressive.
And these are just like what, like 1x4x5 or 6 or something, like snotted in sideways?
Yeah, they're just like the 1x4x6 standard wall panels that they have now.
It looks super realistic, and I know Lego windows tend to be like almost like too European, but these look like. I
want to be like a kind of plain, like a plain cape.
Yeah, exactly.
I had to get some. These are 1x4x5s because of some of the window treatments. I wanted to be a little narrower. And they were a bear to find because they don't make them that way anymore.
These are like what Legoland, like classic set days almost.
Yeah.
Awesome. What other rooms have we not looked at?
The boys' room, I think you did look at it, but the den was the first room I completed, and I'm still it doesn't look like the first room I completed because it came out really nice. I made that potbelly stove with that new element, that little curly Q gold element that comes in some Friends sets.
Yeah, it's like a new architectural piece almost.
New architectural piece. I'm surprised it hasn't shown up in like more city sets. I think it showed up in the modulars.
Yeah, they always are. They're pretty good about that, incorporating like new pieces in big quantities. Very cool.
So that's about it. And just like I don't know if you got a scan of the bottom staircase looking up, but that's probably about all you need to look at. So
very nice.
The staircase is a little challenging. All the steps are a half stud offset. So it looks like they have a little bit of a lip.
It works really well. And I love you have it on a Lazy Susan, right?
Yeah, that was like, I wanted to be able to show people that, that's a 360-degree build. I want to show the whole thing. So yeah, it was important. I had one already, and it was like made for an old CRT TV, so it was heavy-duty enough to handle the dollhouse. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate it.
Pay attention.
super cool.
It's kind of a tiny.